this is what I do it for. Purple haze, smoke it to the face.
And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it.
Right.
And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination, or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.
Hallelujah. And actually, in verse 27, that works about that. In verse 27 said, "And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defiles, neither whatsoever worketh abomination." Actually causes an abomination. So the abomination isn't even started. The concept isn't even started. So this is what we look forward to. But right now, we're at a point to where we're rehearsing this. We're practicing this. While at the same time keeping the commandments, which helps us to practice this. Which is actually keeping this day the way it should be kept. So with that...
You notice how it says, or make it a lie.
Oh, that's right.
Liars will not get. That's why I come down hard on these false doctrines and these people lying out of the scriptures. Because you will not be in the kingdom, whether it's an intentional lie or an unintentional lie. A lie is a lie. An untruth is an untruth. So if you keep spreading lies and untruths, you're not going to be there. It's that simple. You better make sure you're on point.
Oh, with that, that's my spiel. I'm going to turn the lesson over to Brother Daniel because he has a few things that he wants to present.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to bring out something mentioned in the law of the Feast of Tabernacles, and because the law is what it gives us insight on prophecy. It gives us understanding on how to interpret scripture and how to understand these prophecies. So let's go back to Leviticus 23. Azaria, I want you to read verse 40. Leviticus 23 and verse 40.
And he shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And he shall rejoice before Yahweh your mighty one 7 days.
All right. One thing I notice is a lot of people don't keep this part of the law. Many people will build booths, they'll build sukkah, but it tells us to take with us on the first day the boughs, which is fruit of the goodly trees, the branches of palm trees, remember that, and the boughs of thick trees and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before Yahweh your mighty one. Now, coming before the Most High, whether if you were in the temple, or if you were in the tent of meeting, or even if you're just in a local congregation, an assembly, you're coming before the Most High. Remember, the scripture says that we're going to work. The time will come we'll worship the Most High, neither in Samaria nor Jerusalem. All right, so wherever we're at, like today, we're coming before the Most High. All right, wherever your congregation is, if you have an assembly, you're coming before the Most High. All right, and many people don't keep this part of the law. I've seen it done by some Jewish people in Israel. They, they'll carry their palms and their trees and fruit and whatnot. And we've had some brothers who in their homes or wherever we're worshiping, they might have fruits on display, and the palm branches. But many people just focus on building the sukkah. And we're actually to have these branches, these palms in our hand and fruit and whatnot as we come before the Most High. So when we're worshiping, we're supposed to have these with us according to what's written. Everybody can see that, right? All right, let's read that one more time. Verse 40.
And he shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And he shall rejoice before Yahweh your mighty one 7 days.
Okay. And let's get some examples from Scripture on that. Let's go to the book of Nehemiah, or Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 8. Yishay, you can get that. Read verse 14.
Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse 14. There we are. All right.
You know what? Let's skip that to save time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go on over to Revelation chapter 7. And see, and from understanding the law, this is how you can also tear down these false doctrines that are taught out here. We're going to do that right quick. You know, these false breakdowns of Scripture. Azaria, get me Revelation chapter 7 and read verse 9.
After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Okay? So, you know, you got more of these stiff-necked Israelites out here, or Israelites that follow that false doctrine, that racist false doctrine. They, even though the Scripture tells you, it says, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds and people. They'll tell you, these are Israelites coming out of every nation. The text doesn't say that. The text specifically mentions Israelites in the previous verses. You know, 12,000 from each tribe. Mainly the ones who the Most High are going to use to establish this kingdom. You know, to rule this kingdom. But then they get down to verse 9 and say, these are Israelites too. But the text, you know, the word says, of all nations and kindreds. The word kindreds, if you look it up, it means races. Alright? So you don't have, there's no such thing as an Israelite from every race. That's ridiculous. But see, the problem is, we're told something here. It says they're clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. See? So they're following a commandment which we're to observe on the Feast of Tabernacles. Now to prove this, let's go back to Zechariah chapter 14.
That goes right into it beautifully.
You know, because this event was prophesied of. All right, Zechariah 14. All right, Azaria, start in verse 16. Now, this is a prophecy of the kingdom. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Okay? So, it specifically tells you, these are not Israelites being spoken of here in Zechariah. We know that. You could see. Everyone, read that verse again.
And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem.
Okay, there were all nations that came against Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
That's right. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
Okay, so they'll have to come up of all the families of the earth. You can clearly see these aren't Israelites as well. Because they won't get any rain. All these families of the earth. Go ahead.
And if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith Yahweh will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Okay. See? Now read on.
This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Okay. So that they will receive that punishment if they don't keep the feast. So they have to keep the Feast of Tabernacles in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Revelation shows, Revelation 7 verse 9, shows all these nations, kindreds and tongues and whatnot, with palms in their hands, going before the Most High. Because they are commanded to do that. Prophecy already said that they would. And people just being very stubborn and hateful and wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do not want to see the other nations do what's right. But they just want to steady complain about the other nations doing wrong. See, you complain about them doing wrong, but you don't want to see them do right. If you wanted to see them do right, you would adhere to what's written in Revelation 7 verse 9. And you would accept what's written. And what's written is that all these nations, who are the ones who are not stubborn and want to be obedient, they're going to come before the Most High with palms in their hands, keeping the Feast of Tabernacles.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. It can't get any more clear than that. But the problem is when you don't study Torah, all right? And those who don't study Torah can be deceived by this madness that's taught out there. And the only thing you guys can do is just get mad. Because this is fact. And all we did is read book. Alright? So that false doctrine right there, that false breakdown of Revelation 7 verse 9, it's been destroyed. You know? And we could have rubbed it in deeper and went to the dictionaries on you, but you shouldn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's plain. All right, and that's pretty much all I had on that part right there. I just wanted to point out that when we keep the Feast of Tabernacles, we're not only to just build the sukkah, but we're to have the palms and the fruit and whatnot with us as we come before the Most High. All right, that's it on that for me.
Well, that's it on that for me. Everything was pretty much clear. Like, we know that there are going to be people that are going to find something contrary to the lesson, and that's okay. I mean, and based on race of all things.
Yeah.
When really this walk should be about righteousness and observing this day of the Feast of Tabernacles. You know, and to those who have that reprobate mindset, perhaps you are still under the curses. You know, being struck to madness by those that are not even a people.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to consider that. You know, but for those who have a sincere desire to keep this word, I just want to say shalom to you all.